Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Pure Biology, and today I come with another video, that is the cytokinin signaling pathway in the Arabidopsis. So in case of cytokinin signaling pathway in Arabidopsis, this is the example of one developed plant and this is the scientific name. So here the two systems are involved. One is the two component signaling system and another is the multi-step phosphorylase pathway system. So generally two component signaling system, this is also seen in the bacteria also. So I have already explained this two component signaling pathway in my previous video. So you just check out that one. And here I will try to explain about this multi-step phosphorylase pathway system. Clear? So this multi-step phosphorylase pathway system here, this consisting of hybrid sensor kinase. Okay, this consisting of hybrid sensor kinase. This hybrid sensor kinase includes a sensor histidine kinase and receiver domain. Okay, so one molecule of hybrid sensor kinase that containing one sensor histidine kinase and another is a receiver domain. One is the sensor histidine kinase and another is the receiver domain. Okay. Now this histidine containing phosphotransfer protein and the response regulator protein. So two proteins are there in this histidine. This containing two proteins. One is the phosphotransfer protein and another is the response regulator protein. Now, how this signaling pathway is occurring in this Arabidopsis, this is explained. So here, this hybrid histidine sensor kinases that serve as the cytokinin receptors. Okay, that means they can bind with the cytokinin hormone. So this histidine sensor kinases act as the receptors for binding with the cytokinin. Now, when the cytokinin binds with the receptor, that induces autophosphorylation. And here, this histidine kinase, as it is present in this Arabidopsis, so its name is the Arabidopsis histidine kinase, or in the short form, this is known as the AHK. Okay, so now what is happening when this cytokinin binds with the receptor, that induces the autophosphorylation of the AHK that is present in the receiver domain. Okay, that is present in the receiver domain. Now the this is not present in the receiver domain. At the histidine residue in receiver domain, the phosphorylase system begins. Okay, this is the line. Okay. So, just saying that when this cytokinin binds with the receptor, what's happening here? The autophosphorylation is taking place. Autophosphorylation of AHK is taking place. Now, the phosphorylase system, this begins with what? This begins with the transfer of the phosphoryl group. Okay, the transfer of the phosphoryl group is happening or is creating the autophosphorylation or the phosphorylase system. The phosphorylase system starts with the transfer of this phosphoryl group. Clear? This phosphoryl group first transferred where? To the aspartic acid. This is present in the receiver domain, and then to the histidine residue that is present in the histidine phosphotransfer protein. Clear? So, where the phosphoryl group is transferred, this is transferred to the aspartic acid. This aspartic acid present where? This is present in the receiver domain, and then this phosphoryl group is transferred to the histidine residue. Now histidine residue is what? Where it is present? It is present in the phosphotransfer protein, or you can say the full form is that Arabidopsis HIS phosphotransfer protein. Clear? Now this phosphotransfer proteins that migrate to the nucleus or into the nucleus. Now already phosphorylated condition, or in the phosphorylated condition, this is transferred or this is migrated to into the nucleus. Clear? And after entering into the nucleus, this phosphoryl group is transferred to the aspartic acid residue. This acid residue is present where? In the nuclear response regulator. Clear? So this nuclear response regulator, or full form is that ARPS, or this is the short form ARPS. The full form is that Arabidopsis response regulator protein. Clear? This Arabidopsis response regulator protein, which can activate or repress the transcription process. Now this signaling pathway becomes start. So this is the process, or these are the factors involved the continuing the signaling, cytokinin signaling pathway, and this is continued when the transcription process becomes continuing. Okay, without transcription process, the genes that are activated already by this protein, okay, the genes that are activated, these are not transcripted, and if these are not transcripted, so the signaling pathway becomes stopped. Okay. Now, histidine phosphotransfer proteins that act as the signaling shuttles between cytoplasm and the nucleus. So its role, it acts as the shuttle between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. That means not only this is occurred in the cytoplasm, here the process is continuing, including or making a relationship between the cytoplasm and the nucleus. Clear? There are two types of ARPS. ARPS means this response regulator proteins. Two types of, one is the type A and the type B. The type A, that consists of the receiver domain and the C-terminal region. The C-terminal region again contains a DNA binding domain and the transcription activation domain. Now, this type transcription activation, that means this type helps in the, or acts, obviously acts. This type acts as transcription activators. Clear? The type A, these are rapidly induced in response to the exogenous cytokinin. So the activation of this type A is rather than simple than the activation of the type B, because there are many factors involved for the activation of the type B, but in case of type A, the cytokinin only is the factor, general factor that helps in the activation of the type A. Clear? And this is the rough diagram how this activation is taking place. The cytokinin first bind with these receptors and this phosphoryl group transfer, and containing histidine and the phosphoryl group that transfer to the, this is called the AHPS, or this Arabidopsis HIS phosphotransfer protein, and this enters into the nucleus, and then P is transferred to here, and this is the phosphoryl group, and this is transferred to where, means this is transferred to the actually the response regulator protein. This is the response regulator protein where the effector is already attached, and when this activated, then effectors helps in the continuation of the transcription process, and if this transcription process will be continued, then this signaling pathway is occurring. Okay, so this is the process of multi-step phosphoryl pathway, and that is involved in the cytokinin signaling pathway. Clear? So you just check out my previous explanation related to different plant hormones like that auxin, ethylene, gibberellin. There also another signaling pathway, and also biosynthesis I have already explained, so you just check out all that videos from my channel. And another important thing is that if you are the newcomers, so please you subscribe and share my channel if this is helpful to you.